Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Stacy. This is going to be my May reading wrap up. So sorry for not posting at all. I think I only posted once, maybe twice last month. Life has been crazy and June is going to be even crazier. Just a lot of big projects, big things going on around here that take up a lot of my headspace and take up a lot of my time, and it leaves me not wanting to film. I have been reading, but I just have not been feeling like sitting down and filming. And so yeah, the rest of June is going to be insane too. June is one of my busiest months of the year. Every year we have a giant 4th of July party at our house, and I mean 70 people, and there are lots of things involved with that, lots of things that we do to get ready for that party, and so I just have lots of balls up in the air right now. It's a lot, and we've also had to do some major home projects, and I'm tapped out. I'm tired. I'm just tired. Anyway, I did want to talk about these books though, because some of them are really awesome and I wanted to share. The first book that I finished in May was Byzantium by Stephen Lawhead. This chunker. This is from the library and it is overdue and I need to return it. But I wanted to hold on to it just so I can show it in this video to be like, look at what I read. It's massive. But yeah, I read this book and I loved this. I gave this 5 stars. Not surprising because I am a huge Stephen Lawhead fan. I just really love what he does with characters. I am very character driven and his stories are pretty epic. They're adventurous. The characters, I just fall in love with the people in his stories. He has some really great villains too. But the people I love, I really love. And this is a story about a monk in Ireland, and he's part of a monastery. Some of the monks who are putting together the Book of Kells, which is a real book. I guess it's a Bible, but it's a very special Bible. It's I think they kept calling it a manuscript in this book, but it's a Bible with all of the drawings and is it called illuminations? Not illustrations. I think it's called illuminations. But it's a very special Bible, and these monks did make this book. This is kind of historically accurate, kind of not, but this is during the time when Vikings would go raiding in Ireland, and some of these monks were on a mission. They wanted to present this book to the Emperor of Constantinople, which is Byzantium, same thing. And so they leave Ireland to go on this mission to present this Bible, and they get captured by Vikings and adventure ensues. This book takes place in Ireland. It takes place in wherever the Vikings are from. Norway, Denmark, one of those places. I can't quite remember. And then they do travel on to Byzantium or Constantinople. It's kind of all over the place, and I love that about it. I love the adventure of this story and all of the things that go on. It is crazy. There's faith in this book. There is loss of faith, and then there is redemption and found faith again, if you know what I'm saying. It's just a very beautiful story, and again, I love the characters. It's an epic adventure historical book. So if that sounds good to you, pick this up. I loved it. So the next one I finished in May is total opposite of the first one, and that is this one, this little cozy mystery, The Potted Gardener by MC Beaton. This is book 3 in the Agatha Raisin mystery series. This is quite a large series, as I have just discovered. I've never read any of her books before, but I recently hauled this. I got this at McKay's bookstore last month, and I wanted to read it because of the garden setting. I've been feeling very springy, summery, outdoorsy, and I just wanted to read some garden books. It takes place in England, and it is about Agatha Raisin, who is an older, kind of feisty, snappy, sarcastic lady. I feel like she might turn some people off, but I really enjoyed her character. I actually have a really good friend of mine who is very similar to Agatha Raisin, and I just kept picturing my friend saying some of the things that Agatha was saying, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. So yeah, she's very feisty, and this new beautiful younger woman moves into this small British town. I think this takes place in the Cotswolds, so like a beautiful, picturesque British town. And this younger woman moves into town and kind of stirs things up and is kind of very perfect. And then you come to find out, you know, things aren't as perfect as they seem. And of course, there is a murder because this is a cozy mystery. And Agatha has a part in solving that. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. The next one I read with Holly from Lovely Day with Holly, and that has been great fun because we both pretty much have the same feelings on all of these books. We've been reading the Narnia series together. And so I read The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis. I gave that 5 stars. I loved this one. This one, again, was a great like adventure story. The original, well, 2 of the original kids from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe are back in this book, and they end up on a ship with Prince Caspian, and there is adventures, and there's lovely characters. There's a talking mouse named Reepicheep, who is in previous books, who I love. So yeah, I really loved it. It was a great, fun adventure story. Highly recommend it. Next one is When You Are Near by Tracy Peterson. I had this on ebook. This is book 1. It's book 1 in a trilogy, and I can't think of the name of the trilogy, but all the books have to do with this like Wild West, all women's extravaganza. I guess that's what it was called, a Wild West show featuring all women who do like tricks on horses and shooting, kind of like Annie Oakley style. And this show travels around America. It is an historical fiction, romance, Christian fiction. This was very Christian fiction. I absolutely loved it. There was so much faith in this book. I think this was my first Tracy Peterson book, and I was really impressed. I'm actually reading another book by her right now, and it also has great faith in it, lots of faith. So yeah, I really like this story. It involved kind of 3 main women characters, so you could tell that the next 2 books are gonna be spin-offs of the other 2 main characters. But there is loss in this book. A family member passes away, so there's some grief that they're dealing with, and second chance romance, which that really isn't my favorite thing, but I did enjoy the romance in this book. And there was some kind of exciting bits too that I was like, ooh, what's gonna happen now? Kind of a little bit on the edge of my seat. Also, this book would be perfect to read in June. There is a Western readathon happening in June. Home on the Range, maybe? I can't remember what it's called. I'm not really doing the readathon, but I thought I would mention it if anybody is. It is a perfect Western book to fit in for that readathon. Next book I read was another Narnia book, and that is The Silver Chair. Gave that one 5 stars also. I honestly can't remember this one very well. Like, what happened in this book? I gave it 5 stars, but it somehow has like left my brain. I can't even remember what characters were in this book. I don't know, but I gave it 5 stars, so it must be good. Check it out. Next one I am going to talk about is this one, The Victory Garden by Rhys Bowen. Like I said, I'm in like a garden kind of mood, although I do not garden at all. I kill every green thing I get my hands on, but I like to think about gardens and look at gardens and read lovely stories about gardens, but not do it myself. Anyway, Rhys Bowen, she is popular for writing a mystery series that I've never read, and I can't think of the name of it, but she's pretty popular for writing a mystery series. And she does write some other historical fiction books. I don't know if she's a Christian author or not. I wouldn't say this is a Christian book. I don't think it was, but well, I don't know. I'm not even going to say clean because I don't really know like what the standard is for that. There was one instance of sex in this book, but I guess you would call it closed door because nothing was like talked about or anything. You just know that it happened. So take that for what it's worth. But this is historical fiction that takes place in World War I. It's not about the war, though. It's about kind of the people that are left behind, the people that are left in the town while war is, raging in Europe. So this takes place in England, and it's about a girl who lives with her mother. Her brother has already been killed in the war, and her mother go and volunteer at this hospital where wounded soldiers are being taken care of. And through that, she meets a pilot who was injured, and they build this relationship. And I can't tell a whole lot beyond that because that would be major spoilers. But I thought this story was lovely. There were lots of garden bits in it. There were letters being written back and forth. The soldier is from Australia, so he talks about his hometown, and I really enjoyed those bits. The book was really great. The only part that I didn't love was the very ending, because I really had my heart set on something particular happening, and I feel like it really needed to happen to have closure to end this book out. And that thing did not happen. But if it had happened, I would have given this book 5 stars. So that was frustrating. Anyway, I really liked the story. It was great. I want to pick up more from Rhys Bowen. Next one I want to talk about is The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Lori R. King. This is the first book in the Mary Russell book series, Sherlock series. I've read several of the later books in the series, and finally I have read the first book. I feel like I understood enough of what was going on in those later books that I didn't necessarily need to read the first book first, but now that I've read it, I'm really glad I did, because now I have like the full picture of the backstory of how Mary and Sherlock get together. Mary Russell is Sherlock Holmes' wife, and she is pretty young. She is 20 maybe when she marries him, and he is in his 50s, so there is a huge age gap. But when you read this book, all of that makes so much sense. Their personalities and the way she was raised and how they became a couple makes a lot of sense, and I thought it was done really well. There are several different, I think there was like 3 different mysteries that happened in this one book because it covered several years, and I really enjoyed the mysteries. I really enjoyed getting to see Mary and Sherlock's relationship. I thought it was really, really well done, and I am glad that I read it, and now I can just continue on with the series from there. So yeah, for any Sherlock fans, maybe give it a try, because it's from Mary's point of view, not Watson's. So it's just an interesting twist to Sherlock. And the last book that I read in May was The Vanishing at Luxby Manor by Abigail Wilson. I gave this 4 stars. I think this is my favorite of Abigail Wilson's books. I've read probably four of them by now. And I really loved this mystery. This mystery, again, kind of had me on the edge of my seat. And I was really surprised at how things played out. I was not expecting it to play out the way it did. So it got me. This book is set in England, and a young woman goes to stay with old family friends at their manor. And basically, as soon as she gets there, her best friend, who is part of that family, takes off in the middle of the night and goes missing. And so all the people that are left, the family and friends, are trying to figure out what happened to Celine, I think is her name. What happened to Celine? So yeah, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked at what happens in this book, but it was very well done. I don't know, again, I'm not sure if Abigail Wilson is a Christian author, but I feel like there are certain faith aspects in her books. It's not much, but there were a few moments where, God is talked about or prayer is talked about. So I did appreciate that. Her books are clean. There was no sex of any kind, no language, nothing like that. So yeah, I think they're great. I really enjoy her as a writer. They're just kind of fun. I think they're all mysteries. They're all kind of a mystery in some sort of way. So fun historical mystery books, clean, you know, the whole thing. Anyway, those are all the books that I read in May. Let me know if you read any of these books, and if you did, what you thought about them. I hope y'all are having a fantastic June and not as busy as mine is. I hope you have more time in your day than I do. Anyway, I will talk to you guys as soon as I can. I love you guys. I will see y'all later. Bye.